So, I went back home in the summer to New Delhi, in India. And the good part of New Delhi is, unlike some cities in the world, you can go to the west part of town anytime you want. And I was glad that I'd be in India for the summer, so I would miss out on all the fantastic election coverage. But, the election followed me over there. So this is what actually happened. A bunch of Hindu people got together in Delhi and they decided to endorse Donald Trump for president. Not only did they endorse him, they held a prayer ceremony for him. So what happens in an Indian prayer ceremony is that there's a flame that's lit and people throw stuff into the flame and then pray for what they want. And you gotta give Donald Trump credit. He's not even the president yet, but he still caused a fire halfway around the world. So the summer ended and I had to take the flight back home. So you would know India isn't the closest place around. If you don't know where India is exactly, it's about a stone's throw away from Pakistan. Both literally and figuratively. So it's a 16-hour flight from New Delhi to Philadelphia. And you know the drill, you want to sleep through the flight, you watch a couple of movies. And I was almost ready to fall asleep when the worst thing that can possibly happen happened. A baby started crying. Now, normally a baby crying on a plane is kind of like a guy having his first sexual experience. It usually doesn't last very long because someone comes to make the baby quiet. So, that didn't happen. This baby kept crying and crying and crying. And I swear, if there were any Republicans on the plane, they would have had second thoughts about birth control at that point in time. So I couldn't find any way out, so I had to go through the remainder of the flight, so I decided to get drunk. So I spent the last 6 hours of the flight just getting drunk. And when we landed, I was shit-faced. I had drunk about a frat party worth of alcohol. Now, you might think that's a smart choice, but it wasn't, because, you see, I have to go through something called immigration. Now, there are a bunch of ways to go through immigration in this country. You can dig a hole under a wall, you can climb over a wall, which is basically why walls don't work. But I'm not fit to do any of those, so I decided to go through legal immigration, or as the Mexicans call it, lame. I can't divulge how my interview went, but I just say that my interview was kind of like the Obama administration. It started off well, but I lost control pretty soon. And they actually sent me for additional screening. Now, what happened in additional screening? I'll tell you guys if I win. So, suffice to say, I was allowed to enter the United States, and it's amazing. America, land of the free, home of the brave. It's much better than what you were known in the 1700s, land of the free and home of the slaves. So, I have weird classes this quarter, and in one of my classes I have to go and interview a principal about gun safety. Yes. And I went to her when I had this huge beard, and I walk up to the principal of a school and said, "Are there any security loopholes in your school that I should know about?" She's like, why do you want to know? It's a school project, don't worry about it. So if you guys don't see me around, I'll probably be in Guantanamo Bay, which wasn't the Bay Area I was going for, but sure. So then at the end of it, I think freshman year was so cool. Like, in freshman year, people had those post-it notes on the dorm room walls, windows. I remember somebody in race wrote "these nuts," and my dad came to visit that day. And my dad's from India is like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what "these nuts" is. So eventually, my father figured it out 10 minutes later. He's like, "Son, I have hit it. I know what "these nuts" is. It refers to Chestnut and Walnut Street." The poor guy is telling you about the place. Is very kind of him. And then I think in freshmen, you can see the freshmen nowadays and you can tell that they're freshmen because they travel in groups, huge groups. At the end of every group, there's a guy who does not belong. He wants to be there, but he does not belong there. Like the other day I saw this huge group, like 2 white guys, and there's an Asian guy at the end of it, and the Asian guy's trying to fit in. The white guy's like, blah, 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 "You agree, man?" Blah, blah, "Yeah, I agree, man." And the Asian guy's like, "Oh, me too." There's so many Asians at Drexel, man. Like, it was weird that India is part of Asia. I don't really think of Indians as Asian. Like, Indians are Asians the same way that tomato is a fruit. It is, but it really isn't, And the weird thing is I had a lot of Chinese friends when I was in freshman year, and I used to see they were smoking a lot. And I wanted to know why they keep smoking. eventually I've hit it. That what, you see, when I miss home, I go and eat Indian food. When the Chinese people miss the air of Beijing in China, they got light one up like, oh, just like a home. And I believe with this, I'll conclude another Indian's attempt to take a job that an American is perfectly qualified for and just do it better. Hashtag tech support. And I don't have a like on Facebook or follow on Instagram or whatever, but I would just